Hello everybody! Today I'll be showing you a framework called Bootstrap and teaching you how to create a website displaying games made in code.org. Using built-in functions, we can create a sort of slideshow exhibiting these games. You don't need to download any files or anything, you just need to type 3 links into the same place or use link to style.css. So see you in the video!
Okay, so I've already linked the Bootstrap tutorial, and you need this for your second game and you need this for your first game, like a little picture of both of those games, and you need both of those games links in code.org in front of you. Okay, so let us continue. HTML, and that should be a head, and that should be a title called Bootstrap example, and after that link rel equals style sheet, href equals style dot css. Okay, after we do that, we have to link the Bootstrap link rel equals style sheet. So Bootstrap is like a framework that we can use for our programs. So href equals, now you have to follow me, okay, so next we have to create a script. So these like 2 minutes, 5 minutes, we have to do a lot of typing. Okay, next. Next, after we have done the head is done. Now let's go to the body, and inside the body okay, so we have created a class called container, and inside this will be everything in the body. So h3, we should say what is this about. So click on explore, h6. So these games are built on Game Lab. Click on the game to play. Okay. So inside this should be a div which has an ID called my carousel. Class should be called, what's happening? Okay, my computer is going really slow. I don't know what's happening. Wait, what? Div class equals what? Okay, so div class equals carousel slide. This is a function. So so basically Bootstrap has a lot of functions that are pre-built in, and like and you know already about functions, as I think I've taught you before. Functions are pre-built in instructions that we can use for a program. So these functions inside Bootstrap we can use, and one of these functions is this carousel slide. Carousel slides, it allows us to have like a slideshow that we can use in our program. Okay, And inside this, there should be another div. Class equals carousel inner. And inside this should be yet another div. Okay, my computer's gonna be slow. Okay, div class equals item active. Okay, is there any way I can change this? Is there, it's going so slow. Okay, so I've opened these up for the two games. I think I should X both of these out so that they don't make up that much space. Yay! I think it's good now. Okay, so item active div class equals item active. Inside this should be center. Okay, so the reason I'm doing item active, that's also a function, pre-built-in function. So item is an item in the slideshow, and active means that it's going to come first of all the items. Since we're using 2 items, it'll come first on those 2 items. So, anyways, center. Inside this center will be an, because whenever you've ever seen a slideshow and you press one of those buttons that makes it move, have you ever wondered that it kind of acts like a link? Well, guess what? You're right. It is a link. That's why we're using an anchor tag. So href, we're using this anchor tag. We're using an anchor tag also later. This is just the anchor tag. So whenever we press on the picture, then we'll get led to the game. So href equals, now let's go and get those games. So code.org was this one. Okay, I'm waiting. This is so slow. Okay, copy the link, put it in, and yes. And remember, our old friend target equals underscore blank. We'll create a new web page. So inside this, what should we click on? That makes us that will lead us to this link. It is an image source equals, and that's where this comes in. Source equals Winnie the Pooh PNG. That's the first. And here's another function, image responsive. So have you ever seen, many times whenever you look at like one program in a desktop, it looks completely fine. Whenever you open it up on like a iPhone, it looks all jumbled up, the spacing is not correct and all those mishaps. Well, image responsive, it means that all those mishaps will be fixed. It'll have the same spacing and everything. So that's what image responsive does. Image is obviously image. So image responsive. After we do this, so okay, so div class equals carousel content, yet another pre-built-in function. Carousel content, it means that content inside this item. If we just put a h3 in it, it won't work. It'll come totally outside the slideshow, and we don't want that. If we want to put content inside this slideshow, then we have to use carousel content. Okay, so inside this div should be our content, and there should be a p tag, paragraph tag, cardigan, Winnie the Pooh. Yes. Okay, so we are done with this. Now let's create a new div, which will be another item. And inside that should be another center. Basically, I think instead of just doing all that hullabaloo, let's just copy all this. I think it's from here. Yes. Okay, not item active. Then like both of them will be displayed. So we don't want that. Let's go and get the car game. Loading, 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 loading. Copy. If class equals, never mind, you're here. So here. Hey, here. Target to play. Image source equals not Winnie the Pooh, but car game. It'll show up after we delete everything. Call. It's here. It's over here. So image responsive. Blah blah. Okay, in here we should not Winnie the Pooh. Car game. And yeah. Okay, so we're done with all of this. Now over here should be a it should be like the controls for all the slideshow. Like it should have the icon for like the left arrow, right arrow, and it should be whenever we press on them, then we move. So okay, inside this should be an anchor tag. Anchor tag should be href up here. And this anchor tag should be href equals my carousel. Oh, not single quotes, still quotes. My carousel. And if we want to do an ID, then we have to do an hashtag. So after we do this, my carousel data slide equals priv. Data slide, it means where do we want to go. So we want to go previous. And inside this should be a class called left carousel control. And after we do this, inside this anchor tag should be a span tag called, you have to do this, it's another function. It creates the icon for the left and right, glyphicon space glyphicon hyphen chevron hyphen left if you want to go left, and then close the span tag. Okay, so now you just copy this. This time make all the changes. This time it should be next, not left but right, not left but right. Yeah. Okay, so our HTML is done. Let's move on to our CSS. Okay, so container text align should be center dot carousel. Remember, if you want to do a class, then we have to use a dot. P should be margin bottom should be 15 pixels. Margin top should be 15 pixels as well. Color should be white. The font size should be 20 pixels. My carousel, if you want to refer to an ID, then you have to use carousel. If you want to refer to an ID, then you have to do a hashtag. Background color should be blue. And finally, hashtag my carousel. Remember, case sensitive. My carousel height should be 300 pixels, and the margin top should be 35 pixels. Whew. Okay, we are done. And there might be some typing errors within this part because it's almost impossible to do not any typing errors for me. Ooh, everything works. No typing errors. Good job, myself. Okay, so click on the games explore. If you press on something, then it'll lead us there. If we press on this, it'll lead us there. Enjoy the sensation of coding something that's so cool using simple Bootstrap. Okay, so see you in the next video. Bye. Remember to subscribe, like, and share. Bye.